Scott. Today I'm going to be doing a review on the Mikro pipe, which I received from www.micropipes.com. Before I start though, I must point out I did receive it free of charge for the purpose of conducting a review. My opinion of that remains true, honest and accurate as always. Okay, so the manufacturer has asked me to point out that the website is currently under construction, so you're not going to sort of see a great deal there. Because he mainly sells these, well up until this point, he's mainly sold them via the UK Vapors forum at ukvapors.com. His forum username is Microsoft, spelt with a K, and so you can contact him via the forum if you're a member. If you're not a member, he has provided me with an email address, which you'll see here, and you can obviously just sort of send him an email. Okay then, so let's crack on and show in a bit more detail. Okay, so here we have the Mikro pipe. Now these are made out of sort of traditional, fully functional tobacco pipes, which are then obviously being converted to make it into a e-pipe or electronic pipe. Now it does give the impression as though the bowl is made out of wood, but it's actually made out of a material, I believe it's called Bakelite. Now when you receive the pipe, literally all you're going to be getting is what you see in my hands here, and also a like an instruction manual. So you will need to get yourself atomizer, cartomizer, etc., and also a charger. Now it uses one of these sort of 510 USB chargers, and you can pick these up from most websites for around sort of £3, so it's not too bad. It does come with a battery though, and it uses a fixed battery, so you can't actually sort of take the battery out to charge it, and I'll show you that in a second. And the battery that is in here is a IMR high drain 18350 800 milliamp hour battery. And to charge it up, you just need to sort of remove this rubber bung here, and then you just screw it onto your 510, and that's it, will start charging up. Okay, so while I'm on that subject then, it uses the Ego electronics. So underneath here, this is your main sort of like manual button. You can also get ones where the button is on the side as well, but they sent me out one where the button is on the top. And underneath here you have the Ego switch, and obviously it has all the Ego sort of charging electronics as well. So basically once you've put your atomizer or cartomizer on the end here, obviously a 510 fitting, then every time you want to vape you just press and hold the button down. Now you're not going to be able to see it because of the lights that I'm using, they're quite bright, but when you press it down you do get a very faint sort of like a blue glow going around the edge there, but you know, you're not going to be able to sort of see it at the moment now. Okay, so obviously it is a 510 connection, so you can put anything on it that's got a uses a 510 connection too. You know, if you want to just use like a cartomizer, etc., then you just leave this sort of rubber bung bit on. But you can obviously use it with like the skirted sort of Ego atomizers, or if you've got something like I've got a Mark T here which has this sort of little separate skirt included with it, you can add it on now, and then hopefully screw that into place, and to give it a bit more of a like a finished look. Only thing with the Mark T though is that the skirt does spin round. It's a little bit rattly, but no sort of big deal really. But I've been using this with what I believe is pretty much a perfect companion, and that is the line, the Genesis line, and I think that looks like a very futuristic and a very cool looking pipe. Okay, so that's pretty much all I can tell you about it, so let's go and see what it vapes like. Okay, so that is the Mikro pipe. So what I'll do now is obviously go ahead and show in action. So I'm using it with my Genesis line, and it's currently filled up with some 18mg strength 50/50 PG VG e-liquid, and it's a cake flavour, and it's very nice. As you can see, like vapour wise, you know, it's producing a really nice amount of vapour. Also, you do have to bear in mind though that the amount of vapour you're going to get will be very dependent on your own sort of personal setup. For example, if you're using like just a standard sort of 510 Bode cartomizer, then you won't get as much vapour as if you was using a low resistance sort of Bode 510 cartomizer. So it will be very dependent on your own sort of personal setup, but nevertheless with me Genesis line, getting plenty of vapour.
And with the throat hit as well, in exactly the same way as the like the vapor production, it will be sort of very dependent on your own sort of personal setup. And I also find that the higher the nicotine content of the e-liquid, like the stronger or the harsher the throat hit. And I'm vaping 18 milligram strength here, which isn't sort of too high or too low. It's right there in the middle. I'm still getting a very nice throat hit. I should point out at this stage that obviously whenever I do a review on an electronic pipe or electronic cigar, I do tend to start getting a few sort of digs and nasty comments from the actual proper tobacco pipe smokers, telling me that, you know, oh, what you're doing, you're not meant to inhale, you're meant to mouth the smoke and then appreciate the flavour. And also I am sort of very much aware of that. But electronic pipes, you know, it is basically in exactly the same way as electronic cigarettes, just a battery, an atomizer and the e-liquid. So, you know, whether you inhale or whether you sort of just mouth it, it doesn't really make much of a difference. But, you know, obviously, you know, it's personal choice. You can mouth it and appreciate the flavour, or like myself, you can also inhale as well. I like to do a bit of both. So there you go. Okay, so the battery life on it now, it uses a 800 milliamp hour battery, and it's one of those high drain batteries which don't tend to last quite as long as what just a normal 800 milliamp hour battery would do. But nevertheless, so, and I'm still getting pretty much a sort of a full day's worth of vaping out of it, which is, you know, in my book, still pretty good. Now, if you're a hardcore, heavy duty vapor, someone who wakes up in the morning and then you sort of chain vape all the way up, like throughout the whole day until you go to sleep at night, and obviously you won't get quite as long a battery life as what I would do. But I would have thought even a real sort of serious hardcore chain vapor, you're still going to get a good, well, I would have thought a minimum sort of 5 to 6 hours worth of vaping out of it. So, you know, it's still pretty good. Now, the switch, obviously, you've got the switch on the top here on this model I've got, but I think I also do another version where you have like a little sort of button switch on the side there. Now, probably that would be the better option to go for. I don't think it would look quite as nice as having the button on the top, because obviously you're going to have that little thing sort of sticking out the side there. But in terms of sort of practical use, it's probably going to be a little bit nicer to use, because obviously when you're holding like the pipe, you're holding it like that. I'd imagine most people would do, and right there would be pretty much where the button would be. So it just makes it a little bit more comfortable. Because at the moment you're having to sort of, you know, hook your finger over. And after like a full day's worth of vaping, it does tend to get a little bit sort of achy, I suppose. Nothing like major, but, you know, definitely you can notice it in the end of your finger there. So, you know, it probably would be a better option to go for the side button one. But like I said, it's not a major big deal. Now, because it uses the Ego electronics, I was thinking, oh, maybe it's got the 5-click on, 5-click off function. But, and I've tried to sort of activate it and it doesn't seem to have that feature, unfortunately. So there is no sort of main on-off switch to the actual device. But with the ones that have got the top button there, I think it would be quite unlucky to actually have like a self-activation if it was sort of carried around in your pocket, unless something was sort of pressed perfectly against it and then sort of quite hard. It's not a like a loose button at all. You know, you have to sort of put a bit of pressure down on it. But, you know, overall the switch works perfectly well. Get on to the scores then. For the looks, I think it's a very nice looking pipe, especially when you've got the old Genesis line on this, like a really nice little combination. And I'll quite happily give the looks an 8 out of 10. For the vapor production and the throat hit, I'm going to give those my average score of 8 out of 10 each, simply because it will be very dependent on your own sort of personal setup. Battery life, if I can make a battery last me like pretty much a full day, then that's good in my book. So that'll be another 8 out of 10. For the switch, you know, the switch, you know, does work perfectly. You press the button, it fires up every time. But like I said, with the position of it, it does tend to get a little bit uncomfortable towards like the end of a full day's worth of vaping. So I'll give the switch I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10. Okay, so if you do fancy trying one of these out, obviously sometime in the future you can either go along to the actual website, which is micropipes.com, or you can contact the guy via the UK Vapors Forum, or you can send him an email via the email address which I showed at the start of the video. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and also come along and visit my website at www.e-cig-reviews.com. That's e-cig-reviews.com. Cheers guys, happy vaping, see you later.